quick example here is the digital banking market. We were able to build some very good and strong digital banks in Europe, like Revolut, N26, Bank, Monzo, all the others. While if you take a look at the United States, you don't have a real digital banking champions, not huge company like Nubank or Revolut. You have some good digital bank, but not huge one. And I think that the regulation actually played a big role under that point of view, because you don't have maybe the structure always to have that kind of entities to grow up. On top, of course, of a very competitive financial market that is always tricky to do. But I
Yeah.
think it's a very interesting aspect, and it's a very good strategy to move on. Having also them at the table is going to open up a lot of doors, mostly for startups.
Totally. It's interesting because back to the banking life. So I worked at actually a European bank, but a very large U.S. presence, BBVA, and we
Mm,
acquired one of the first neobanks before all the ones that you mentioned, which was Simple Bank in Portland.
mm, yeah.
And actually, just recently, in the last 18 months, give or take, was just announced that that was shut down, and absorbed into the bank. But yes, to your point, like regulation, it does play such a crucial role in what is possible and what's not possible, which is why, yes, for the startups, 100%. But like,
Mm,
they're sitting there and having two different conversations because the banks feel like at times the startups get the unfair advantage, and so it's like,
mm,
what's nice is having conversations where all of them, where it's like, how do we collectively come together? Because back to that point of like, also banks are the enablers a lot of time of startups, and back to like my time, not just the BBVA, but with a handful of other banks, all the fintechs were talking to us and wanting to go be like talking about, should we be a bank? Can we be a bank? And then they realize how, especially in the US, but not exclusively, how hard it is to do that.